Good morning, fellow champions around the world. Sean Fury here. Want to talk to you for a few minutes about something that is important to me and to creating empowerment climates at home, at work, and at school. And what that is this. A lot of us are joined together in our mutual, goal of wanting to live a good life, whatever that means to us, with the, included in that is the idea that well-being is not just something that I make up or that you make up. So if I want to tell you that I'm okay with letting people hit me, that's not well-being, okay? Because well-being is something that is situated in your circumstances. Some people have a really hard time accepting this concept. And you don't have to accept it, but it's important that if you want to build a better life, then you need to understand that this is a fundamental principle. Uh, for example, there's a lot of ideas that float around on Facebook, like posters and stuff, and some of them are good for you, and some of them are what I call shortcuts. They're techniques of trying to bring about happiness without actually having to do any work, without actually having to risk anything. And I'm here to tell you that that's good news that you have to work. It's not a bad thing to work. The more you work at it, the better you get at it, and the easier it gets, and the more powerful you become as a person, right? And the more successful you'll become at experiencing real happiness, the kind that's like contentment, tranquility, where you're just living your life and everything's kind of in a flow. And when you're presented with problems and challenges, you can confront them, you can deal with them, and you can, like a traffic cop, you can bring in the good stuff and keep out the bad stuff. So one of these that's, recently been on my mind and in some of my conversations with some of my fellow champions is in regards to bullying and the prevention of bullying, right? Now, I used to work as a group facilitator for 3 years with men who were convicted of domestic violence. And in a room full of 20 guys, right, they all had in common that they were violent against a partner. And so I had a great deal of opportunity to study the patterns of their thinking and their behavior and to see where they were going wrong in their thinking, right, that was leading them to these poor choices. And additionally, I was able to see how other groups of people in society um, thought it was okay to hate this group and to hate on them and to talk badly about these men and, to treat them in the exact same abusive manner that they had treated their partners. So, in the sense that maybe they weren't, these other people in the mental health and social services world, they weren't hitting the men, but they were certainly denigrating them and talking badly about them. They were shunning them and trying to punish them socially, and all in the name of rehabilitation and trying to help them, right? So my message in regards to these men and to bullying is you can't stop bullying by bullying others, right? And furthermore, if you don't want to become at risk of bullying others, the first thing you need to tackle are your own beliefs and attitudes about who it is okay to hate or to think less of. And this is why, okay? And I hope that you don't take this the wrong way because it's really a positive thing. Um, Whoever you treat as less valuable than you is the person that you are likely to bully, or they're the person that you are likely to just stand there when someone else bullies them, right? And you won't intervene because you have it in your mind that you are permitted to just not intervene and help this person because they're not as valuable as you, right? And so whether or not these are your religious beliefs or your philosophical or ethical beliefs or your morals, right, is up to you, and you have the power to keep them or to throw them in the garbage. And I want to offer you the idea of having as a standard of comparison my wheel of well-being that you can find in the Facebook group and on the website, theherosupportnetwork.com. Because, and you can also learn about it in my webinars or live classes. And one of the number one thing on that list for creating well-being in your actual circumstances is equality of value. Individual people need to feel as if they are valued. And when they don't feel valued, they're not going to experience well-being, right? So you are going to be constructing this kind of experience for someone else, that feeling of being equally valued, when you treat them with dignity and regard for their worth as a life form on planet Earth, just like you, right? And so this is where the conflict comes in. You might have grown up in a culture or a group, with values and beliefs that have taught you a certain way of thinking and believing, and that there's some people who aren't good. And it's going to be really important for you to be able to question your own beliefs and to identify if any of them might be keeping you from opening up to life around you in a way that will allow you to experience real connection with your world, right? And this does not mean that you have to be like other people. What it means is that we all have something in common. And that something is we all have a human need to feel valuable, like we are worth something to someone else. And additionally, you don't want to be the one creating the problems in your own life, creating the problems in the lives of others. And it all starts with what we believe, right? What we give ourselves permission to do in the world around us. So try to think on that, and hopefully you can see the positive, because it is. The reason that it's hard, the reason I keep stressing that, is because this actually requires work. You have to reflect. You have to be willing to have self-reflection and to think about who you are and about why you believe something. And you have to be willing to have critical thinking to analyze what you believe and to ask yourself, why do I believe this? Have I really thought this through? What are the effects of me believing this and acting on this in the world? Is it really earning me what I want in my life? Do I really want to be someone who hates other people who are different than me, or who even hates other people who have done wrong in society, right? Or do I want to be someone who understands that the problem is hatred itself? The problem is inequality of value. That all of those men who were abusing their partners, right, in heterosexual relationships, were doing so, number one, because they saw their female partners as being of less value than them, right? The man can be on top in the authority and the power, and the woman should not be. That's what they thought. And so that allowed them to believe that they were justified in controlling her with violence. And so guess what happened to them? They lost their partner. They went to jail. They lost their families. And their partner moved on to someone else, hopefully, who does not abuse them. And in the same way, the partner hopefully learned that they have value through some kind of education after their breakup, right? So they don't get back with someone who's going to treat them as if they're less valuable than other people. So this is the number one threat, is inequality of value. Don't treat people as if they're less valuable than you if you want to have a flourishing life. Because you don't get a flourishing life by allowing hatred and toxicity into your daily experiences. Okay? Thanks a lot and have a great day.